So guys, oh my gosh, first of all, thank you so much for being here tonight. And let me just say that I had one of the best moments of my How to Get Away with Murder history last night because this show was so hard to figure out. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, I figured out a huge part of this season. Like, did anyone else catch that? I mean, I was freaking out because I called that Mahoney was Wes's dad. And how did I do that? I don't know, but I've never been able to figure out really any of this show, and I about freaked out. Like, I was on Twitter being like, oh, I didn't want to like give out any spoilers because I'm on the East Coast and I know the West Coast hadn't seen it, but I was just like, oh my God, like I called that. Like, that is so crazy. So I'll just take a few breaths here because I'm just still freaking out about that. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about because a lot of different things happened. And there was at least one thing that happened, I'm not sure that you guys caught, that made a real impression on me. So I hopefully everyone loved the episode because I thought it was so, so good. Yes, so I'm wondering a couple of things since I got that part of it right. I'm just like freaking out. And I'm not like bragging. I'm just like freaking out because you know how hard it is to figure this show out. I guess I would be more proud maybe if I figured out Pretty Little Liars because literally someone with no brain is putting that together. But yeah. Andy, yeah, I'm not gonna, I really do feel like I came up with that one, but I know you guys came up with a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you guys don't ever come up with any ideas, but I remember sitting here coming up with the Mahoney thing. So I have to, well, I'm gonna have to brag on myself just a little bit, So I don't know if I'm psychic, okay, but basically I just kind of felt that was coming. But I know several people argued with me about it, which is no big deal. But people kept saying that his dad was from Haiti and he immigrated over. But I don't know. I guess they never said that. I guess it was kind of assumed by some people. So anyway, so because of that, now a couple other things that I had thought of, and probably you guys had thought of too, is the fact that maybe Oliver, I'm not really sure about that now, about him being involved, but I do think we still have a chance for Mahoney to be one of the, to somehow be tied into all of this other mystery. If not, then they may just carry that over to next season where Wes is definitely going to want to meet this guy. So I think that could be a strong storyline for season 3. Not him being out to kill people or anything, but maybe he just wants to meet up with his real dad, So, so Allie also thought that this was going to be Wes's dad, which is crazy. So I'm glad that we got that piece of information. That was a big piece of information to get. Now I want to talk about the very beginning of the episode. Wondering if some of you guys saw this. So we start with the struggle that Annalise is having with Philip, where he was under the bed. He's grabbing her. She's struggling to get away. Now, he said something to her that really caught my attention. She was struggling to get away. She was, they were having this altercation, I guess. And he's like, stop. And the way that he's saying it, now, if you were trying to hurt someone and fight somebody, you wouldn't tell them to stop struggling, okay? Like, you would just keep going and do whatever you're going to do. If he was there to, if he was going to kill her, he would have. And what I think is that, again, I don't think he's our main villain. And I think maybe he wanted to talk to her or whatever, because obviously he wasn't expecting her. He was probably expecting Wes or maybe expecting no one. But I just feel like that was a big clue in a very small way that, yeah, Andy, maybe they did have a conversation that we didn't get to see yet. Or, yeah, as Ethan says, I thought he was trying to talk to her. Definitely. It wasn't like he was trying to kill her, hurt her. They were struggling and everything. Because I think, he didn't know what's up with her. I think he probably thinks she would try to hurt him. She might have had a gun or try to stab him or something. And so he kind of jumped up from, attacked her a little bit just because he didn't know what he was working with here. Or there could have been other people. That's kind of what I think. But there's a lot of pieces to that Philip story that we don't know. Now, I definitely think, as Allie said, that Caleb is bad. And they've made some assumptions in the show that he's dead. No, I don't think that Caleb is dead. I think Philip is probably dead. Now, I think Caleb has probably killed Philip. There's a part of me who believes Catherine's going to be our other victim and Philip is the murderer, because I do think that Philip murdered his aunt, and I do think he murdered the parents, to be honest. And that's just one little part of what we need to talk about. But as we know, there will be 2 dead people next week. And I know some of you are hoping for one of the Keating 5. I don't think they're going to go there at this point in the show, but we'll see. I don't know if anybody caught Viola Davis's interview on Jimmy Kimmel last night, but it was really good. Of course, I love her. And she said that she signed a 7-year deal with the show. So that could definitely mean, and I don't know if that would equate to 7 seasons or not. So, but that could mean that we're going to have this show around for a while. So I definitely have some other things we need to talk about, but I'm going to look at the comments and see what you guys are saying. So Ben, thank you so much for being here. Don't worry, you're just a couple minutes late. As Brittany's thinking that Caleb may kill Philip, exactly what I'm thinking. Bonnie was very shady. We do need to discuss her, Laura, definitely. Super, not a nice person, okay? So Mark says, during the flashback with Sam and Bonnie, the word Hapstall was written on Sam's notepad. That is so freaking amazing. I didn't even catch that. We definitely need to talk about the Sam and Bonnie meeting. Let's go ahead and do that. So a little bit lost with this Sam and Bonnie meeting, okay? What do you guys think about that? Give me some background on that. Why were they meeting exactly? Because I knew he had kind of been like, what was he, a therapist? But why did he call himself a fake name? He called himself Mike. Of course, that session was cut short because Annalise was having all her difficulties with her baby in the hospital. Hi, Chloe. Thank you so much for being here. Brittany says, hate Bonnie, want her to die. I don't like Bonnie at all. I think Bonnie is like one of those people who's had like a really bad life. And I don't know if you know, her meeting Sam, I guess this is when she first became a part of Annalise in everyone's life, or Annalise might have not even met her at that point. So Miss Allie thinks that they were role playing. So maybe they had already met each other before. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I definitely think they had a physical relationship going on. And I don't know if they were having that at that point or what. There is a lot of speculation that Laurel is going to die. There was a lot of bad stuff surrounding her character in this episode. So Ricky, thanks for being here, thinks that Sam was training Bonnie on how to deal with a crush. Okay, so that makes sense. So he was playing another guy. Right, so Laura says, I think it had something going on. They had something going on, but he was helping her flirt with some guy by pretending to be him. That makes so much sense now. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Mike was just like a fake boy. So, all right. So with Laurel, here's the deal about her. Unfortunately, bad things kind of happened to her that wasn't really her fault because she never told anyone about Frank's secret. You know, Bonnie she was very shady and got this information. But what really bothered me is when she let Frank know that she knew, and he was like, did Laurel tell you? And she was not forthcoming. She basically made it look like Laurel did tell her, which is terrible for Laurel. And then, of course, Laurel did make the mistake of going to Annalise's drunk and telling her that she didn't know she was telling her, but she said, hey, you know, I know that you had Frank kill Lila, which really was crushing to Annalise because Annalise had always thought Sam had killed her, and she felt good about the fact, excuse me, that Wes had killed Sam because she thought he was a murderer and that he murdered Lila. So I do think Why Names Are Important hates Laurel and Wes together. I feel like that's really out of place. I also felt like the Asher-Michaela hookup was random, and I don't really know what they're trying to do with the, you know, the weird hookups on this show. I really don't think this type of show needs to try to go, you know, like put crazy matches together. Like, I feel like they're just trying to stir up the audience, you know, and the viewers. But this type of show is so smart and so well written with the mystery. I don't think they need to do like crazy stuff like that. It's almost like Pretty Little Liars putting strange people together or breaking up people that we like. You know, I don't think this is the type of show that needs to do that. Georgie says that Wes is annoying, and I agree. He was annoying. He's been annoying this season, to be honest. And what really bugged me too in this season, I'm sorry I'm fiddling with my hair so much, but like, it's not doing what I want it to do. When Annalise told him the truth and how she felt guilty like every day because of what happened to his mom, and he was like, yeah, I don't believe you. But yeah, I know Annalise is shady, so I can kind of see that. But she was like, you know, spilling her heart out, you know. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here. I definitely don't ever mean to miss anyone's comments. So thank you. I'm sorry you had to leave, but you can always watch this later. It'll be up on my channel. So I'm going to go back and see what we have here in the comments because I just feel like there's just so much stuff to talk about. Okay, Ben Bake brings up a great point. Viola Davis I mean, how many times can we say it? She's amazing. When her child died or was born, stillborn basically, I mean, it was so real. You would think that that actually happened to her, that that was actually happening to her, you know? That was so perfect. I mean, she's going to win the Golden Globe again. I don't even know what to say about that. Ash says if Bonnie died, I probably wouldn't care. And I kind of knew Asher and Michaela would, you know, hook up because she's always picking on him. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't think it's going to be a serious thing. I think it's kind of like the Wes Laurel thing, although Laurel seems to really care about Wes. I don't know. It was weird. But so Ash thinks that Wes is going to kill his dad. Really? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Andre says, I think it's weird and rude when the nurse told us if they wanted a picture. It was creepy. I guess I can understand. This is the one chance you have to remember your baby. Like if you want to go back and look at a picture, I guess, but I thought maybe you would just want a picture of the baby alone. I don't know, because I haven't been in that situation. And, you know, who knows how you would feel if you were in that situation. But the way that she said it, it wasn't like she didn't have enough compassion, the nurse, you know. Yeah, I just felt like that was a little strange. And I know that, you know, his reaction was like, what? Like, are you serious? We're like, you know, freaking out over here because this baby is dead, you know. But Ash says they often take pictures of babies who die. Right. I don't think it's a weird occurrence because, again, of course, that's a really emotional moment, but that is your chance. You'll never see that baby again. So for you to have a picture, you can look back and say, you know, this is what my child looked like. Some people might not want it. I don't know, you know. Chloe, it has not been explained why Frank killed Lila, but we're supposed to learn that this season. So that's definitely got to be explained next week. Okay. Yeah, it was nice to see Annalise's mom back. So I think basically she went to her mom's house because she was just at her breaking point. Like she found out like all these people are deceiving her and she didn't know where else to go, you know. But I think for sure we're supposed to find out the motive for killing Lila. So that's going to be next episode. Was I shocked by the events of this episode? I mean, the biggest shocker for me really was finding out that Mahoney was really Wes's dad. We all knew that something not good was going to happen with Annalise's baby. We just didn't know that it was going to be a car wreck. Trying to think what else happened. Yeah, I was shocked that Laurel went and told Annalise about Lila. So why names are important wants to know, do I think Annalise will stop treating Wes like the teacher's pet in season 3? Surely when everything's out in the open, she'll just treat him the same as she does everyone else. Yeah, they've really got to work on their relationship. They're in a bad space. He is not good with her right now, so they're going to have to really work on that. I know, Chloe, it feels like this half of the season I feel like we just started this. I cannot believe it's over. I feel like we were just doing the first video the other day, the first chat, and it makes me very sad that it's almost over actually, because this is one of the better shows that I watch. If not the best, it's very good. Mark thinks that Wes is going to die. He was barely in the episode and it would be a perfect but shocking way to end his storyline and create a new mystery for season 3. Oh gosh, I mean, he's like one of the main characters, but this show, honestly, it would go there because they're not shy about doing crazy things. Something I want to ask you, one more thing that I just thought of, and then I read a comment and then I totally forget it. So maybe, oh no, I know now. Okay, Oliver. Now, you know, the way he was acting in this episode, I have wondered if he was perhaps in on this somehow, in on the blackmailing, in with Philip, something shady, just because he's not suspicious. And I felt like through this episode, I was like, you know, I don't think I'm right. I don't think that you guys are right, because I know some of you thought that. But what I do kind of think is weird is the fact that he quit his job. And yeah, I get it. He wants to live in the moment, I guess. But where is he going to get money? And why did he quit his job? Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means his illness is worse or progressing more than he has told Connor, or if that means he thinks he's going to jail or will be dead soon. I don't think they would have mentioned it if it didn't mean anything, okay? Or why even write that? I mean, who cares that he quit his job if it didn't mean something? So you know how the show is. I just feel like there's something with that. Yeah, it's sad, Allie, that Annalise keeps blaming herself for Wes's mom's death, especially it's been 10 years. But she blames herself for that, and that is all connected into the death of her own child, because if she hadn't have been, she feels like if she hadn't have been involved in all of that stuff with Wes's mom, she wouldn't have been in that place at that time to have that accident to lose her baby. So Mark got red flags when Oliver said that he has secrets. Me too. So he comes up, he says to Connor, I have secrets. I start freaking out. I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, he's going to be part of this. And when he's like, well, what are your secrets? And he's like, I quit my job. That's lame. So, that's not a big secret, but it is something weird because, well, and then he's like, I'd like to work for Annalise. So there's something up with that though. Hi, nerd. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really hoping that there is something up with that, and not in a bad way. Like, I don't want it to be because he's, doesn't have long to live or something. I'm hoping that it's because something else is up with him. So Brittany says something that I don't know if it was you, but a couple people had tweeted me the same thing, that Mahoney planned the car wreck. Now that is creepy as crap, guys. That's creepy. But how do we know who was driving? Right. Who was the driver? They ran a red light. So yes, Sam was acting weird with the baby, Tony. I agree. I don't know. He's a weird dude. We know that. Weird. Can't trust him. Strange. Yeah, I know. Why names are, I wish we had like 1,000 people in here chatting. But I don't know what it is. It's weird. And something else about like why PLL gets all the attention, like Scream to me is such a better show. And for those of you who didn't know, and you probably do, season 2 of Scream returns May 31st. Definitely going to be doing live chats and videos because I love that show so much. So, but I feel like that one really gets neglected. And I would say How to Get Away with Murder attracts an older crowd, even though probably you guys aren't, but I don't understand Scream because Scream should attract the same crowd as Pretty Little Liars. Hi, Adam. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, I know I've missed probably some great comments. And if you're new to this chat and I've skipped over you, it's not because I skip over you. Like, I just can't possibly grab everyone's comment or question and they just start rolling by. So here's the thing. If I don't respond, it's because I didn't see you. So you can just feel free to comment again and I will hopefully catch it. Andre says, when Annalise called out Frank in the flashback, I saw hate in Frank's eyes and I feel like he did something. Well, I think that Frank has done a lot of somethings. So the fact that he killed Lila, he's killed other people, it seemed to be no big deal to him. Tony makes a point that I thought of last night. It kind of crossed my mind. Is Sam the father of the baby who died? I don't know if Mahoney's the father, just because I don't think the timeline works out. I feel like they met near the end of her pregnancy. That's just what I think. So Andy thinks that Wes and Annalise team up to take down Mahoney next season because he killed Annalise's baby. Yeah, I kind of really think at this point that Mahoney is going to be like our Who is Kristoff from, the last half of season 2. It's going to be something that they've set up and that we'll address and spend a lot more time on in season 3. So, wow, Ethan thinks that Frank was driving the car that crashed into Annalise, which is, that gives me like goosebumps because, wow. Yeah, he's definitely a killer, but if he did that, like, okay. I mean, I can't even look at him anymore if he did that. Because, I don't know. And, honestly, if it was a setup with her being hit by the car, I would say that it was not to kill the baby. I would say it was to kill her, to get rid of her. That's what I think. And they had the motive, Mahoney did, because, again, his son went to prison because her client did not show up for testimony. So we'll wait before we hate Frank that much, because that would make him the most super of all villains. But we'll have to wait. The big theory that I tweeted was kind of stuff we've talked about before, but I didn't know if any of you had caught the interaction between Philip and Annalise at the beginning. And I definitely, there's 3 main things that I wanted to talk about that I had thoughts on. So I definitely think he was trying to talk to her. He wasn't trying to, kill her or hurt her, but he is not the fall guy. He is not the villain. He is the red herring. he probably is thinking he's being blackmailed by, he's probably thinking she's the bad guy and that she was going to hurt him or some of her people were going to hurt him. And I also think that Oliver is, I still think there's a huge possibility with what Oliver said last night that there's something major going to go on with his character. Yes. So, wow, here's another really good thought. Why Our Name's Important says, what if Bonnie was driving the car that killed Annalise and Sam's baby out of jealousy? Yes, because she looked really weird. She couldn't have been, though, because she got the phone call. He got the phone call when he was sitting with her and that she was at the hospital. What else I was going to tell you is who was going to die. That was actually my theory. I blinked out. Because I think Caleb is alive. And my theory is that he's the murderer and that he killed Philip for sure. And I think our second dead body could be Catherine. Just because with this show, they haven't gone there yet. They could, but they normally are going to kill off the characters they introduced during that season, as we know with Sinclair and previous seasons. But they killed Sam. So Sam to me is not a main character, but a side-ish character. But honestly, you know, I hope that they go bigger than that. I mean, sure, Caleb being the murderer, sure. I hope somebody big goes out. Frank, Bonnie, let's do it. You know, I'm thinking that's good. Catherine's in jail. Well, yeah, she is, but how do we know how long she's in jail? I don't know. Stuff happens. I mean, if you watch Scream, like someone came in and killed people in the jail and let the person out of jail. I'm just joking. It's not going to happen like that. So it's probably not Catherine. She's probably not going to die. So we need another kill. We need someone big. But okay, this is what I want to ask you. Why were they digging in the yard? Annalise and her mom, it looked like they were digging a grave in the yard. Can someone tell me? Who's Jean? Jean looks sad talking to the therapist guy. Do you mean Bonnie Kokai? Yeah, okay, so Eve and Nate are good ones. That's good choices, good guesses, Chloe, because they're side-ish characters. And, you know, especially Eve, because she's just kind of a guest star. Who's got, I'm sure this woman has a lot of other stuff going on. I mean, I feel like Nate has a bigger role than her because she's kind of just, you know, hanging out. She's not always there, right? He's kind of always there. Yeah, so we're gonna, for those of you who watch Pretty Little Liars, we've got that finale Tuesday. And if it sucks, we have this Thursday. Yeah, I love Nate, Chloe. Don't want him to die. No, I think I can live without Eve. I don't care about her. But yeah, I agree with Laura. I can see them killing off Eve. I don't know what the motivation is. Maybe she gets in the way, whatever. But I don't know why there's a body in the yard of her mom's house. So Brittany thinks it could be Nate. I don't want it to be Nate, honestly. Eve is not like, I don't dislike Eve, but does anybody need her around, you know? But, you know, to me, I think they should go epic here. I think they should kill off Bonnie or Frank, to be honest, because, you know, they've just really never gone there because we knew from start of season 1 that Sam was going to die, okay, or that he had, you know, already died or whatever. We saw flash forwards. So, agree. Ethan brings up a point that I agree with, but it's creepy, so I'm not really sure. I thought maybe her baby, Annalise's kid, is in the front yard, but why are they digging it up? Because I don't understand. Maybe they buried it with something that they need to get out, or maybe she wants to put that picture of the family in there because they're both gone now. I don't know. Now, I will say that Bonnie and Frank annoy the crap out of me, but as characters, they're awesome, and we're not supposed to love them. So I don't know if we could lose either one of them because I think they bring a lot to the show. But I do really appreciate a show that will go there and kill main people. A very strange example of that, if any of you have watched Downton Abbey, which is a fabulous show, very different from all these shows, but they would straight up kill. It wasn't really a mystery or anything, it was a drama, but they would kill main characters out of the blue, and it would be very devastating. And I just really can respect a show that's going to go there because, you know, they went there and it made sense. So I don't know. Yeah, I think the baby probably is in the yard because if someone just kills someone recently, like Nate or whatever, why would they be digging him up? I don't know. Brittany says Eve would be kind of pointless because she doesn't have much relevance to either story, only to maybe hurt Annalise. I just feel like maybe Eve could die because she gets in the way. You know, someone's shooting it for someone and she's in the way. I don't know. So Georgie thinks there's going to be 3 people, but unless they're not telling us, they're saying 2. Now, I think we should think about this. What about Caleb dying? I think Caleb killed Philip, but what if Caleb gets killed by one of the Keating 5 or Annalise or something in self-defense, really, because we know this guy's trouble. He's going to be our main villain. So I think the most logical explanation and guesses for our deaths would have to be Caleb and Philip. That's what I think. Yes, as Andy says, Downton Abbey, the deaths were very shocking. If you've never watched that show, believe me, I had a friend bug me to death to watch it because looking at it, it's not my type of show, but it's actually one of the best shows I've ever watched. It's over now, but it's fabulous. If you have extra time on your hands, I think you would. I mean, just so good. I don't know anyone who's actually sat down and watched it who was like, I hate it or I can't watch it. It's very well written. Just throwing that out there. So is Caleb too obvious? Asks Shadow, especially for a show like this. I don't know. But they haven't made him look guilty yet. If you think about that, now we all think he's guilty, but in their minds, none of them think he's the killer. I mean, Michaela's still kind of, you know, she has like feelings for him still, obviously. Adam has to go. I'm so sorry. You got some information about Scream, a darker side to Audrey, which I think we saw that coming. Anyone who's seen the show, so interesting. I hope she's not. I don't think they'll make her. Well, I don't want to say because some people haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, thank you so much for being here, Adam. I'm just so fired up. I feel like I'm all over the place because, oh my gosh, this episode. So, why are names important says, I'd really like it if Annalise never kills anyone on this show. It would be so ironic if everyone around her is a murderer, but she is the only one with no blood on her hands, which so far, she hasn't killed anyone. You know, crazy. I agree with Ethan. I want the Keating 5 to live. Now, yes, Asher is really annoying. I don't see that he's going to die next week. I could be wrong. Dren says in this episode, they kind of explain what Frank owed Sam. Annalise mentioned to Frank several times that Sam had asked her to hire Frank because Frank was in trouble. Yes, she was like, he drug you, he brought you up from nothing or something. So we know he's probably a hardened criminal from back in the day, and Sam gave him a chance to do what? I don't know. I don't know why he's working for this lawyer. So, well, interesting. Gokai thinks that Nate kills Eve out of jealousy. Surely not. Surely not our Nate. I don't think Nate would do that. Ash has to go, so thank you so much for being here. You know, I don't know, but I'm just really excited. Did Annalise tell Wes that his mom was raped? Asked Chloe. I don't remember that. Did she? I don't know. Andy says, no new deaths, please. We need them to solve the deaths of the people who are already dead right now. Asher's dad. Now, Asher's dad is a mystery that we have not revisited. Will it be revisited next week? What do you guys think? I think that can maybe, I'm a little surprised that the show hasn't even mentioned it again. I could see that maybe going on to season 3. They definitely will not leave it up in the air. They definitely will address it and solve it and wrap it all up. But I don't know if it's going to be talked about next week. So Shadow says if Caleb is the killer, Michaela is going to be with Asher all the way. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, there has to be a reason, as Rachel says, why Frank is so loyal. Absolutely. Deja's right. Annalise is kind of like the Charles Manson of this show because she gets everyone else to do her dirty work. Yeah, I think you're right, Ricky. I think that Annalise should perhaps tell the Keating 5 about losing her baby and all of that. I think she has so much pride that she doesn't want to let them know that, you know, she's kind of a broken person. You know, a lot of the stuff that she does is an act because inside she's very broken, very hurt. She can't trust people, but she wants them to think she's just like this in-charge woman who doesn't, you know, no nonsense and is never upset and nothing bothers her, you know. Gokai hopes that Eve becomes a main character next season. Yeah, I like Famke, definitely. But I don't know. I'm not seeing her do that, but you never know. If Annalise decides to date her and stuff, because that's always up in the air, but then we have Nate still. We'll have to see. So Brittany thinks that Asher's dad really did kill himself. If that's the case, they won't return to that storyline. So we'll have to see. Laura says Bonnie has been in the background too much lately. Thank you. Agree. Great point. Definitely think they will bring her back in a big way by revealing that she is behind some of this. Well, if you caught the promo, I think they said, what, 2 backstabbers? So who are our backstabbers and what are they doing? Are they going to be obvious? We already know Bonnie's a backstabber, you know? So that's kind of, but I know everyone doesn't know that. Maybe that one will be for sure. Yeah, Nate was really jealous of Eve. Absolutely. So what do I think is going to be the mystery of season 3? I think that's really hard to call, Shadow, because they pretty much create something new. I mean, I definitely think they will, you know, deal with Wes and his dad, but I don't think that's going to be, we'll have to see how this goes because usually they tie together. I mean, we'll probably get a cliffhanger next week and, you know, that carried over big time from, well, actually, I guess our cliffhanger was at the end of season 2. I'm trying to think. I think they wrapped it up completely on season 1, but there might have been some like themes that were carried over. So probably it's going to be just, you know, brand new because I'm pretty sure now that I'm thinking about it that the half stall stuff was all introduced to us season 2. So it'll be something new. And the way they did that was it was just like a case that, you know, blew up into something they were all involved in. So they could try that again, I guess. But they could do something big with Wes's dad. I mean, he could be, who knows? So Mark says the promo said 3 backstabbers. Thank you. So Laurel is one for cheating on Frank with Wes. Bonnie because she maybe had a relationship with Sam, and Oliver for the tapes. Okay, if it's Oliver, guys, I'm going to be losing my mind. Like if it's Oliver, I'm going to be freaking out. And what's so great about this show is that we know it's going to be crazy good, and probably none of us have even remotely figured it out or heard closely, you know. But I'm so excited that I can be so excited for it, and I won't be let down. Whatever they do, whatever they come up with, who dies or who is the backstabber, we're going to love it. Really? Okay, so apparently Bonnie was killed off in Scandal, Bonnie's character, which I never got to that part because was she like bigger in that show? I mean, I don't mean that rude, but it seemed like she's a lot skinnier than she was in Scandal because I barely recognized her. I think I watched like the first season and a half of Scandal, and then people were like, yeah, Bonnie's character, what's her name, Liza? They're like, she was on Scandal, and I was like, no. And then I'm like, okay, right. It would be sad, Laura, if Oliver was evil, but you know, and I mean that would make me a little sad. But come on, don't you guys think? Well, then I miss how she died. Hello, I kind of lost it with that show. But don't you guys think that would be an ultimate twist, though? I like Oliver, but he's, you know, he's never done anything bad, and we have no reason to suspect him. Therefore, we should suspect him. I just thought he was acting weird at the bar last night. What does he mean he has secrets? Why did he quit his job? Please tell me. Right. So, Chloe, we have, well, here in the U.S., PLL finale airs Tuesday. So, right, I'm not having any hopes for that. And thankfully, I'm so glad both of these finales are in the same week because we can rebound to this show and be like, yay. Yeah, I know the UK is a day behind. Is it Nima? Thank you so much for being here. I'm wondering if Frank is going to die. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. I know I've missed a lot of your comments, so just comment them again. So sorry. The scary part, I'm trying to see what I haven't read here. So Dren thinks they're actually going to make the death of Asher's father a suicide. It would be easier, and the show really has enough going on right now. Yeah, I kind of agree. Just because it's been quite a while since they've addressed that, and I feel like if it was going to be a scandal, they would have brought it up in little ways. Yes, Tony says, feels like Oliver has always had a bad side that was dying to come out. So now here's the thing we need to think about Oliver, though. It seems like he really loves Connor. What if we're going to decide that he is somehow involved? What is his motivation? Because I'm struggling with that right now. So, okay, yeah, I'll mention it. I've mentioned Andres. I've mentioned How to Get Away with Murder a couple times in PLL, but I'll definitely mention it again because I know some of you are here today because I mentioned How to Get Away with Murder on PLL chats from like months ago. Which, you know, I just do that for your own good because, hey, it's so good. Ethan's asking what I'll be reviewing. So I am doing Quantico, which is we're in the second half of season 1. It started out phenomenal. It's been a little bit slow, but I have hopes for it. It's an ABC show. So if you want to catch up and you're in the US, on the ABC app, you can watch Quantico for free, and there's not that many episodes that you've missed. Again, we're still in the first season. So that comes on Sunday nights, and I do my live chats on Mondays, and my videos go up on Tuesdays. Then I thought that Scream was coming back in April, but apparently it's coming back at the end of May, so I'm going to be doing that. So I may need to look for something else, not sure. And so I saw, here's Mark saying that the promo said there will be a bloody ending. Well, we saw like a room where there was blood everywhere. It looks seriously bad. So I don't think they'll go with Annalise getting in a car crash again, Mark, just because we just saw that. But if she does, then it's definitely a setup, I think. So the family, I guess, how many episodes have I missed of that? I watched the very first one because it was on right before How to Get Away with Murder, last week? And then I probably have missed another. So I know that people really like, is it really good? Should I check that out? Because maybe I should. So, okay, Brandy, thank you so much for being here. But also I have more shows coming up as they come back, like Scream Queens. I'm waiting to return. There may be more stuff. I can't even remember now. It's like, you know. Charles, okay, I'm not going to read Charles's comment, but that was funny, I will say. The Walking Dead is something I kind of completely missed the boat on, Chloe, because I actually watched Fear the Walking Dead, which probably doesn't make any sense, and that show wasn't very good. And I don't think I'm going to do videos on that. That's one I did do videos on last summer, last fall. But so 2 episodes of The Family so far. The 3rd episode is on Sunday. It's so good, but it's on the same night as Quantico. I guess it's on the same channel, so that's good. I know Dren's talking about American Crime Story, and I've heard that that is really good. But I tried to watch the very first episode, I guess, for this season, and I was probably sleepy, but I was like, well, I didn't love it, and I didn't come back to it, but I was kind of busy with a lot of different shows. So there's something we need to talk about next week, and it's just kind of one of those things that it's like, it's hard when I do the kind of videos that I do on YouTube, because when there's shows, like, you kind of have to be there for these shows, but at the same time, I have other things going on and things that I've had planned for quite a while. So I'm actually going to Florida next week, and it makes me very sad when I found out it was the same week as the finale of How to Get Away with Murder. So, and I actually don't have a laptop where I could do a video and edit it and do like a live chat with you guys, which is crazy. I'm sorry. Hopefully I'll get one. But what I'm trying to say to you is this. I'm hoping, I'm leaving on Thursday, so I'm hoping that I can watch the show live Eastern time. And my thought for you, if you want, is that we could do a live chat on Periscope. It's free to sign up. It's connected to your Twitter account. It's free to sign up for Twitter if you don't have that. I don't have a way to record that, you know, from my phone and everything and put it on here. So it would have to be something that you watch, and you have 24 hours to watch it if you miss it when it's live. So let me know what you think about that. I'll also be tweeting out the, you know, information about me not being here, which is, it sucks and I hate it. But at the same time, it's something I've had planned. It's an, you know, a concert kind of thing that I'm going to that I can't like cancel because of a TV show, which sucks, really. So let me know what you think about that. So I would be willing to, I'm hoping that I can watch it. I'll have to kind of let you know closer to time and do a Periscope, and I'm hoping I could do it like Eastern time after it airs. If not, we might be able to do it the next day. I don't know. I just have to see how many people will be interested in that. But because of that, I will be doing my video a few days later. So I will do a review and a sit-down video on How to Get Away with Murder, but it won't be up until the following week, which hopefully is okay for you guys. And for anyone who watches Quantico, we won't have a live chat for that as well. I'll tweet all that out. So hopefully you're okay with that. I'm really sorry, but I definitely want to try to watch it live. You know, I could do a live chat discussion after. Yeah, Shadow, I definitely could. Great point. I'll be back on Tuesday of the following week. So if you want, we could probably do one Tuesday of How to Get Away with Murder. So we'll just see, because I definitely am not going to leave you guys in the dark, and I want to talk about it, and I know that we're going to be dying to talk about it. And it's really weird because I was traveling when the Scream Queens finale was on too. I have the worst luck because you just never know when these things are going to happen, and sometimes I have specific things I have to go to, so I can't work them around the finales or whatever, so it sucks. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been talking about Slasher as well. And I guess I have that channel, but I need to, does anyone know if I can watch that on an app or something? Because I've obviously missed a few episodes, and I need to check it out. So I know I've missed more of your comments. Let me see. Andres loves the music used in the show. It's one of the reasons you love How to Get Away with Murder. I do love the music, and I know they tweet about where you can find it and stuff, I guess for download or to purchase, but I think that's cool. Well, Vanessa, as far as I know, we get way off topic on here. I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't annoy anyone, but Scream bringing new cast members, I think, is needed because they killed so many people in season 1. But I guess they're going to have the same people, right? Because I've been watching them on Twitter, and the same main actors and actresses were saying things. But let me know if someone's leaving that I didn't know about. I don't know what Pet Locker is. Is that free? Is that cool? Is it not like a virusy thing? I don't want to do like the, what do you call it? Pirating. I don't want to have to download something. Yeah, there's people in this chat from all over the US or outside of the US. I know Canada and probably England, and you guys let me know. I know you guys are from all over. Why names are important. Love the reference the Keating Five made about Laurel and Basher. It was like they were laughing at the fans and the Twitter ships. Yeah, it was really funny. They were tweeting that out last night. I think maybe today. It was very funny. Yeah, so Jay is here from Scotland. See, I know I have a lot of friends from the UK. Ethan is from the UK. That's so cool to me. So cool. And it makes me think about going back, which I hope I can do sometime soon. Yeah, Chloe is from Wales, which is really funny because I think that's kind of like my, what do you call that? Like heritage, I think is Welsh, because I actually was looking that up when I went to London last. And I think that's kind of like where my family came from, which is really cool. Andres is from Peru, and Shadow is in Brazil, and Georgia is in the UK. That makes me so happy to see all of that, you know? And then Veronica's from Australia. I mean, Dren is from Albania. So crazy. Mark is in Ireland. Like, isn't the internet the coolest thing ever? Why are names important from the UK? Like, I never thought I would be on here, when I was a kid. I never thought I'd be on here talking to people from all over the world. Like, it's like so crazy to me, Like, I'll try to tell my mom that people that I do these, she doesn't understand. Like, she'll watch them and she doesn't understand because she doesn't watch the shows. And I'm like, yes, people are here from all over the world. She's like, no. And I'm like, yes. But Gokai's from Canada. Ricky's from Michigan. I'm in Kentucky, if you didn't know, in the U.S. So Michigan's not too far. But yeah, that is so cool to me that you guys are from seriously all over the world. I love that. But we should probably track back to the show now because it's my fault. I've taken you way off track. But Charles says that that we need to keep Bonnie in the show, basically. And I kind of agree with you. I don't think they'll kill her off just because she's a very strong character, a very strong actress, and I think she's needed, at least for now, in this series, especially since it's going to be going on for a while, hearing that Annalise signed that 7-year contract. Not Annalise, but Viola. No, I never watched Devious Maids, and I've heard from so many people it was good. Is it still going on? Here's a great question, Veronica. There was this sex scene between Frank and some random bar woman. Why was that in there? I always watch it twice. I watch it live and I watch it on DVR. And I was just like, did I miss something here? Because I'm not even going to mention it when I film my video, but I feel like the show doesn't really put crap out there. So I don't know. Maybe all I can think is that this woman's going to show back up again. Maybe she shows up in season 7. Maybe she shows up next week, but maybe it's going to tie into something else or something he did, or maybe she ends up dead. I don't know. We'll see. So, right, Georgia said this episode was great. Don't know how they'll be able to top it, but let me tell you, Georgia, they will. I have no doubt in my mind that the finale is going to be better. It's going to be crazier. It's going to be more shocking because if you think about it, this episode wasn't like super shocking, super crazy, super out there. I mean, they're telling you 3 people are going to be revealed as backstabbers. 2 people are going to die. Who knows what else? Yes, Chloe's right. Everything happens for a reason. Everything's connected. They're geniuses. Pete and Shonda, geniuses. Chloe thinks Laurel will survive because we need to find out about her dad. Yeah, I don't think Laurel is going to die. I'm not thinking the Keating Five are going to die. I think our suspects for death are Nate, Eve, I really do think it's going to be Caleb and Philip who we lose. But if they want to go outside the box, I think it could be Eve, Nate, or Oliver. Just saying. Yeah, Georgia is like, it was so good. It was like a finale for your typical show, but this show is so much better than your typical show, Laurel is probably, and I know a lot of people think she's going to be the one who will be killed, because of the fact that she, you know, gave that information to Annalise, and then Frank thinks that she told his secrets, which she didn't, but she did tell Annalise. Mark says Bonnie is one of his favorite characters. We need another dramatic scene between her and Viola, like when she killed Rebecca. That Bonnie scene from whenever that was it last, might have been last season, I don't even know, but it just shows you Liza is her real name. And I have to have so much respect for this woman, because love her or hate her, again, she's playing a role, but as an actress, she is phenomenal. Again, I don't think that Bonnie is supposed to be loved by probably any of us, but you have to understand she had a very bad childhood. It doesn't excuse her, but you know, she was sexually abused and whatever else, and her mind and stuff, she can't function like what a normal person would, and she does things that are wrong and bad, and who knows what else she has done. But I think the theme of all these people, I think the Keating Five, Annalise, Frank, Bonnie, they're all very mixed up people with bad past, bad things happen in their lives. They all have that in common. That is the bond that keeps them together. So Shadow loves to hear me talk about fave shows that you enjoy. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's why I started doing this. That's why I started doing this channel, because I get so excited about these shows, and a lot of my friends in my real life don't watch them, or they don't care like I do, and I was driving them crazy. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try talking about it on here on YouTube and see if anyone else is like really into these shows. And guess what? You guys are. So Frank is crazy. Ricky thinks he's crazy enough to kill Laurel. You know, I don't know, but it's a possibility. Yeah, very cool. So Andres thinks Oliver is actually going to start working for Annalise and be the sixth Keating. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so let's think here. What else do we want to talk about that we have not talked about? Yeah, so Nerd has a channel too. Very cool. Yeah, and I think, you know, I didn't know what would happen when I started out doing YouTube, and I did not have a clue what I was doing. Because I watched a lot of beauty people at the time. So I would just do like one video, and like I would go away for months because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was trying to do like makeup reviews and stuff. And I didn't know they're really bad. You can go back and watch some of them. I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I started somehow companies were asking me to do videos, to do reviews on their products. I was doing that. And then I was like, I can't do those anymore. Like I did several videos where I would just review one product or something. And I was like, this is not me. And then I was like, you know, I thought I wasn't going to do YouTube. And then I was like, you know, wait a minute. I love TV shows. Why don't I talk about those on there? Do I think that Michaela and Asher will continue? No, I think it's going to kind of be a fling, but I don't know. Looks like they're definitely going to continue into next week. So Mark says if Marlene wrote this show, Marlene from PLL, they would only be revealing that Frank killed Lila in the finale next week. Then who killed Rebecca would be in season 3. But even better, Mark, all of these people would actually not be dead, and they would all come back. Or they would say that somebody killed somebody, but then they'd be like, no, they really didn't. So as Georgia was saying, we've talked about a little bit before, the scenes with Annalise and her baby were so sad, so amazing on Viola Davis's part. Amazing. Here's a question that we asked when it aired, but we haven't really brought up lately. Jay's asking about that family that Frank introduced Laurel to. A lot of you thought that was someone he was paying, or his friends or something, and not his real family, because they just seemed too normal, to be honest. So I still don't know about that, and maybe we'll come back to that one day, but he's probably had a really messed up life, and we really haven't gotten into his past or his life growing up, so we'll have to see if they'll go anywhere with that. So Dren's thinking about the fact that we get to watch this really great finale because Pretty Little Liars is probably going to disappoint those who watch. Yeah, we don't know if that was his real family. We're supposed to believe that. We're under that assumption. He made Laurel believe that, but we don't know. So again, I'm really sad because honestly, I just don't get this excited about another show. But on that note, I really love Scream so much. So just letting you guys know, if you haven't watched Scream, which I don't know why it took you guys telling me to watch it for me to watch it, because I love the movies and I knew it was on, but I think it was on at a time where kind of like this time, a bunch of stuff was on. I was doing a bunch of different videos on different shows. I didn't have the time, but I did watch it very quickly, like a month ago. So if you guys are looking to watch another show, a mystery show, one where you're trying to figure things out, I definitely think you should check out Scream. Apparently, you can get it for free on the MTV app. I was not very smart and bought it on iTunes, but in some countries, I believe it is on Netflix if you have that. So just to let you know, you have time because the second season is not going to air till the end of May. And you can be a part of the live chats that I'm doing and the taped videos. You can watch those. And I promise you it's a lot like this. Probably not as smart, but very close and very good. And I think that I love the main character in Scream, Willa. She's awesome. I think that you guys would love it. I promise you. I was very much into it as like I'm into this show. So just saying. Chloe says if Oliver is sending the videos, he might have left his job hoping to get hired by Annalise to get a closer look and record more videos. I mean, I don't really know what he's thinking, but I think either they were just setting up the groundwork for him to be hired by Annalise, and I would say that's probably what it is, but then why did he say he had a bunch of secrets? I was just getting major shady vibes from him, and I know Connor kind of looked at him like, what? What are you talking about? And he was very surprised to hear he quit his job, so I don't know. Wire Name says, you know, the show How to Get Away with Murder is only in season 2, so it's hard to compare it to PLL, which was good in the beginning. But I'll disagree with you here because we thought PLL was good in the beginning because we were hoping for the big reveal of A and we thought it would make sense. But now if you go back and look at it, to me, all of it's kind of crap because the people they did reveal didn't end up being real. They took it back. And the stuff that they laid down as groundwork and as clues, none of it connected to the reveals. So I can already tell you that How to Get Away with Murder is better than that show, to be honest. So Rachel's asking when the season 3 of this show's is going to premiere, and I believe it'll be in the fall, although I'm pretty sure they haven't released any official dates yet, which sounds like a really long time and makes me sad. So, and right, Veronica says How to Get Away with Murder will end when it should, not carry on pointlessly. And I think Pretty Little Liars has had a history of never answering questions, of dropping storylines, of dropping characters. So, you know, I respect you so much. Why names are important, but I think it's really impossible to compare the two. I just feel like they're on two different levels. So Ethan says season 3 of this show, How to Get Away with Murder, will premiere in September. Wow, where did you see that? Have they officially released that? That's awesome. Also, just want to let you know if you are watching this live or taped and you are new and just stumbled upon this because you like How to Get Away with Murder or you like mystery shows, then please subscribe because I'm still going to be doing the show next season. I have a bunch of other mystery shows that I cover that you may watch or you may want to watch. So I would love for you to do that and be part of our Kellie TV family because not only is it fun, their people here are so cool and I love talking to you guys and that's so awesome to be able to do that. I think this is probably the best part of being on YouTube are these live shows. And the funny thing is, we don't have much time left, this company approached me. They weren't going to pay me, but they asked me to do live shows. That's how I got into it. But then I did a couple for them and they were using this platform, the Google Hangouts. And I started doing it and then they like disappeared. They would not reply to my emails. And again, they weren't supposed to pay me or anything. They were supposed to promote me on their social media or whatever. That was kind of the deal. Well, they disappeared and they wouldn't return any emails and they just fell off the face of the earth. And I was supposed to like talk about their company in my videos. So I did like 2 or 3 and talked about them. And then I just started doing them on my own. So sometimes things in life work out really strange because I was really bummed. I was like, okay, these people were going to shout me out on their social media and everything. And they disappeared and they won't respond. But then I started doing these on my own and they introduced me to it. So it worked out. It all works out. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for being here. And if you come into this late or you had to leave or whatever, you know, this, if you didn't know, this video will be up in like 5 minutes after we're done here, the entire thing. Yeah, Tony misses my Kellie TV news reports. You're probably the only one. That was something I tried out a while back and literally like 10 people watched it. So I was like, okay, this is not working. Just because I like entertainment news and I thought, hey, I'll try doing that. But you never know. You just never know what people are going to like or going to watch. But I do appreciate that. I didn't know you guys watch those, but you know, my channel is kind of funny because I have like stuff when I didn't know what I was doing from way back in the day. And then stuff I've tried that didn't really work out, but we'll see. Some of these comments are strange today. Anyway, yeah, E-News needs to hire me. I agree, Tony. I would love that. Absolutely. So Ethan thinks it'll premiere in September because season 1 premieres September 25th. Okay, so you're just thinking that possibly it will premiere in September. Thank you, Drin. I know. I mean, I'm glad you guys feel the same way, because literally I was driving people in my real life crazy, because I guess a lot of people don't want to talk about TV shows as much as I do and as much as we do. So Rachel's asking, what other shows do I recommend? If you missed it, yeah, Scream is actually a better comparison. The MTV Scream series. Scream Queens is good, but you have to remember it's more like a parody. It's kind of a comedy. One that I don't cover that's on Netflix is The Fall, with the guy from what's it called? 50 Shades of Grey. Jamie Dornan is in it. I think that show is so good, and there's not very many episodes, and it's going to end in one more season. Orphan Black is really good. Gosh, what else do I watch that's like this? Quantico, which I'm, doing videos on, is great because you have a main mystery there. Are you talking about Jean Grey, like X-Men? Is that what we're talking about? I think that's why you're saying that, because Famke is like a big X-Men actress. So Andre says, favorite part was when Annalise was kicking everyone out from her house and saw Oliver and said, is this a homeless shelter? Get out. Yeah, that was really funny. But you know what? Like, Stephanie watched The Fall. Yes, it's so good. And there's really not much. It's like a, it's like a British Irish show. It's really good. But yeah, you should watch that if you guys have Netflix. And then you could just binge it. It goes by fast. It's very dark, but yeah, Famke is, as soon as I saw Famke in the show, I was thinking X-Men, because X-Men, and she's great in that. Like, everybody loves her. Yeah, the Scream opening, the very first season, episode 1 with Bella Thorne was great. And if you've seen Scream, the original Scream with Drew Barrymore, it's definitely kind of a play on that. But I love that. I loved, Charles, you are crazy. I loved the comparisons and the way they stayed really true to the movies. If you're a Scream movie fan, I think you'll be very happy with what they did with this series. And I think one of the reasons I was not too sure about watching Scream, the TV series, is I thought that they would not do it justice, and I would, was going to compare it to the movies. But they did so well. I'm just so proud. And I also guess that, and I like some MTV shows, but honestly, most of them are pretty stupid and like reality TV. And I didn't know if MTV could pull it off. I thought it was kind of weird that it was on MTV. They usually don't have the serious shows that we can really, take seriously. So Happy Valley, is Happy Valley like a mystery show too? Because that would be great. Bella Thorne was coming to the show because her character is still important. Back to the show? How could that happen? You mean in season 2? Ethan loved the first season of Scream. So glad they revealed the villain in the finale and not drag it out. Thank goodness. Yes. It wasn't a wonderful choice, but I kind of figured that it might be this person. I don't want to say too much because I don't know who hasn't seen this. Nev Campbell be the opening death in season 2 of Scream. Like, those, what's weird about that is those actresses are like 40 or something now. Like, I don't know. Like, I saw her recently, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I saw her in something, and I was just like, oh my God, like to me, they're like teenagers or whatever. It's just weird to see them. It's been a long time since the first Scream premiered, and it freaks me out. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like I always thought of them as like teens or whatever. You subscribe to Charles on YouTube even though you still hate him. I don't know what you're talking about. So Stephanie, there are two. This is so confusing, but there's Scream, MTV Scream, which is definitely like a horror mystery show. And then there's Scream Queens, which is on Fox, which is kind of a mystery show, but it's comedy. So, okay, it's about time for us to go. I know Chloe has to go. We only have a couple more minutes, and then we're talking about everything in the world. So I guess we can probably end it here because we're pretty much done. But again, my video about this week's episode will be up tomorrow, and please follow me on Twitter just because I want you to stay informed about next week, about what's going to be going on with me being out of town while this finale is on. I could definitely come back and do a live chat when I return, and I'll definitely have that video up the next week. So I do apologize, but I cannot wait for next week's finale. I'm so excited. Yeah, Scream Queens is a comedy, but Scream is totally different, so don't think they're the same. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I had the very best time as always, and I love all of you. And I will see you tomorrow with my new How to Get Away with Murder video. So bye, guys.